Welcome back, folks, for another episode of Utopia. This is Sinulab, and here we go. Well, as you can see, I was able to upgrade the engines, the next tier of the survivalist generator. Thank you, Mr. Zombie. Now these things, each output 40 RF per tick. So I am still getting the 160 that I did with those huge setups that I had before. The other thing, though, is that they don't last for 13.5 minutes for each coal. They burn it much quicker. They each produce still 80,000, but they do it over just over a minute and a half, exactly 100 seconds, which is great because now Steve's factory manager, remember how I was fussing around with the trigger time trying to keep it happy between its 800 or maybe 500, maybe 400 because it was not feeding it when it needed to as often and all that jazz. Well, I've got this set to 95 now, so just before it's about to expire, it'll do another check to see if it needs to feed in another thing of coal. I also, as a result, upgraded this to a redstone energy cell because another thing that was happening was too quickly it would get drained because of the quarry, and it would fire off to give it a coal, and it would slowly creep up, and then 13.5 minutes later, it wouldn't fire right when it needed to, and it'd go back down because of the quarry. And then it'd go back up and it'd fire, and it'd hover around here because I'd turn it on and off, on and off. And the hardened filled and emptied so quickly that you'd have like 12 coal in here, and then it was up here, and maybe it would store it all, but who knows? I'd probably have that same issue that I was trying to alleviate by this whole triggering thing. So this is great. It's now every 95 seconds, and then when I expand onto these, of course, they're all going to have to be this next tier because I can't use a normal one, 13.5 minutes, but that's good. That's good. Now I've got plenty of room to expand again. I'm happy here. One of the things that was quite an adventure making these, because I needed to get that energy transfer node from extra utilities. However, it's not just a normal crafting recipe. I had to go and make a QED in order to get that thing done. So, ender pearls, not an issue, right? I was over at Micronaut's place to get that. Blaze powder 2 to get the eyes of ender, no problem. But I needed some quartz. I only had 2 that I had borrowed from Jedi, I don't know, a few episodes ago. So I needed to go into the nether. It was about time. But as you recall, it didn't have any armor. I changed that. As you can see, I can actually see that aura node from here because I've got some goggles of revealing. Been spending some time with Thaumcraft doing some research, and I've got just these robes. I know they're probably could be enchanted and made better, but hey, having 3.5 shirts of armor was better than nothing. So I went into the nether and didn't have to go far actually to find some quartz. Got enough to come back here and make this. It was 60 or so. So then once I made that, I was able to get those, and everything was fine. Quite the adventure. Now I've got something over here because what I want to work on next is a means to get more zombie heads. For a couple of reasons, actually. First and foremost is to get my infusion altar stabilized. I haven't exactly started building it yet, but I do want to stabilize it as quickly as possible. So with candles, with heads, I can do that. Now what I did in the last world is I used a villager. He'll grow up here soon. I borrowed this guy. I actually probably stole him from Jedi. I don't think he wants him back. I hope not, because I need him. But he'll grow up eventually. And I'm not going to use him for trading. He's actually going to be bait. I'm going to put him out there in a little pod, and all the zombies are going to come toward him and fall into a little pit that I will have a little grinder in and gather their drops. Maybe start gathering mob essence too. I'll need that for a spawner eventually, right? In fact, maybe I'll get a safari net, collect this guy, and then make a couple extra ones to get some more luring pods around the base so I can just start collecting mob drops. I do need arrows. I go through them quickly. Get some zombie heads, creeper heads, and everything else they drop. That'll be good. So that's a project for today. A lot of gathering and a lot of stuff to make because I got to make some stuff. The other thing I want to use skulls for, that's right, that's what I was talking about, is sorting. I want to get a sorting system going on. And so with Ender IO item filters, at least for the advanced one and the already in the chest item filters, require a zombie head. I need to make this. The advanced item filter requires this zombie controller, And of course, the existing item filter takes an advanced item filter. And so these guys I need to make in a slice and splice, so I need to make that. But I need a lot more zombie heads. I've only got 4, and I've got 1 creeper head. They're over there. But that's not going to get me very far. So let me get started, and I'll come back when I've got something done. All right, folks, just charging up the battery. Using the quarry a lot. Drains the battery, but that's all right, because look at this. We've got some good resources. Lots of iron here. That's beautiful. I've also got lots of copper. Already got a lot of that stacked up over here. We've started to get a bunch of metals and items. Need to get them in barrels to hold them. Beautiful. Beautiful. Need to get that sorting system up and running. Made myself another sag mill and another alloy smeltery. I'm going to get some upgrades for these to make them run a little faster. Set them up over here just to do the processing of metals coming out of the quarry. I'll keep these 2 here, get rid of the chests in between them, and just use it for everything I need just while crafting. Got a brewing stand going, and that's because our villager disappeared. He did grow up. And then I turned my back, and I came back, and he was gone. Apparently, there's a thing where you got to name them in order for them to stick around if they aren't within a village. And he clearly was not, so I made myself a name tag and named it Harry. Let's see if you can figure that one out. I had to make an anvil to do it. That's okay. That's okay. So yeah, the brewing stand to get weakness potions. Cure a zombie villager if I happen to find one. Otherwise, maybe I'll ask Jedi if I can pilfer another of his villagers from his little village farm and name him there. We'll see. But let me show you the little device that I've been working on to catch, or not catch, but catch zombies. Bait them. There's a hint for you. Yeah, he's going to sit inside here. He's entrapped. Zombies won't be able to get to him, but they will be drawn to him like just you wouldn't believe. Get rid of that. The water, of course, just pulls them in. They fall down. The grinder down there will kill them and get their loots here in the chest. Now here's a nice, beautiful thing about the Ender IO conduits. Look at this. All in one block. We've got the power. We've got the items. We've got the liquid. It's excellent. I did have to upgrade to the pressurized fluid conduits so that they get pushed up into there. Otherwise, the other ones, they disrespect gravity. And you can pull down, you can maybe move to the side, but you can't push up, that's for sure. So anyway, got to get another villager. I love these transport pads or whatever these things are called. I always forget. Travel anchors, yes. Get in and out of my base really easily now, and I might do this everywhere and just forego getting doors. Yeah, I think so. Some windows so we can see out. That should be good. But anyway, I am on a mission to get another villager, to get that thing finished and started, and getting the ore processing set up. I've got power going here, but I'll have to extend it this way and get maybe over there. Do some organization, maybe have everything get into these barrels with pipes and just not have to do it manually, because that's what I'm doing right now. Pulling things out of here and of course just putting them away. But anyway, that's how things are going, and that's how, Hey folks, what's going on? So, went over to Jedi's and I actually stole another villager. He was just sitting there in the smeltery, so I decided to grab him. Named him, gave him that name tag I showed you before, so his name's Harry. It's an acronym, or not an acronym, but a synonym for bait, in case you were wondering. So that's what he is. And in fact, this kill chamber seems to work as it is. A couple of mobs have already fallen in here and died, so I'm getting stuff. I've already got 1196 millibuckets of mob essence there, so that's pretty cool. Plenty of battery power. Probably won't have to replace that for a while, but yep. Let's see what we can get with you. Started working on the sorting system, and it's raining here. Not in the desert over there, but it's raining here. But here we go. Got a little upstairs there that, again, with the travel anchor, that's how I'm getting around. But right now, this is going to be holding all of the storage. I've got all the metals right here that are filtered in from below. This comes right from the quarry. Eventually I'll have everything. This is the quarry box. It's got everything except for the metals. The metals I was testing just a little while ago, and everything seems to be working with sorting. Right now I've just got some leftover stone here, and the cyanite. I need to put a better barrel up there with that in it so it's sorted. One thing I discovered here while testing was I did make some of those filter upgrades I needed the zombie heads for. Just a couple of them I made, these advanced item filters. Now what's interesting is that a lot of these ores, you'll notice that it's got an ID of 763. Well, there are some other ores like shiny that just has metadata associated with it, so it's 763 colon some number. So there's only 5 ore blocks that I need to put here, and with the sharing of those numbers and metadata across at least the 763s, I think that's actually the only one that has like 5 other ones associated with it. These 4 are pretty unique, but this will catch all the other ones. And similarly, with the sorting of the dusts and stuff that go into here, I don't need to specify them all, just as long as that first number matches and we ignore the metadata. So this allows some extra spaces available for other things. I was really kind of bummed that there were only 10 spots here because there's like 10 ores, or there's 9 ores, but there's 10 or 11 things I want to smelt here. One of them being the cobblestone that you get as extra breaking down from the ores. The cobblestone then just comes in back up here and can be smelted into smooth stone because this whole thing isn't filled up with just all the different types of powders and dusts that can come through. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I've got some room there. So right now this is just the spillover. Anything that resides in here is somewhere that I need to, or something that I need to ultimately give a home. That's why I didn't connect this right away, because everything here doesn't have a home and it would just end up here. So we're just doing this piece by piece until we get that done. Then we'll turn the quarry back on, but we do have lots of items. So I was going to do the same little pattern thing up there with the rest of the stuff that I'm getting from the quarry, like coal and flint and other things here. I'll put in the pod there and there. Eventually when we get all that sort of stuff needed to be there. Probably won't all be from the quarry. I don't think we get that many different types of items, but we'll get these up here. And then somehow, maybe with Steve's factory, we can do a sort of request system to maybe keep this one always stocked with two stacks of each of the stuff, so that I don't have to go up there manually and grab some more to refill this, but we'll get to that at a later time. Anyway, that's the upstate. And folks, let me tell you, I did make a painting machine. I'll use this to paint some facades to cover up all those cables. I made a bunch more of this conduit binding. I'm sure I'm going to need a whole lot more, because I think this just makes, it's a 1-to-1, right? Yeah, it's a 1-to-1 on these conduit facades. And let's say, I need to get them colored like that. Just drop these bad boys in here, and I believe we can just do that. Yes, and it'll paint these facades using that, so that I can cover up those cables and it'll look just like the ground. I'm going to also paint up some of these, and that'll cover up this pillar here. It's actually, matching this, that pillar is supposed to be there, so that will totally be hidden. Excellent. And then in order to make those upgrades, I did end up making a slice and splice, so that's very good. Got some more machines here, and like that. This kind of freaked me out. I looked over there just shortly after I stopped recording the last clip, and I'm like, oh, no way, you gotta be kidding me. This guy's already gone? I got closer, I'm like, oh man, he totally is gone. Darn it. Oh, no, there he is. Whew. Yeah, so he just gets out of view, or doesn't come back into view until you're pretty darn close. That's gonna freak me out for a while, but hopefully he stays there. Hopefully you stay there, Harry. How's it going, folks? So a few developments have occurred here. We've got some processing of ores all automated happening underneath with the Ender IO item conduits, so you can't really see them. Now you can see the hidden pipe up there going up to the better barrels I have up here. That keeps everything organized. I even had to expand a couple of the better barrels because I've got lots of a couple of resources. But this chest takes in everything over from the quarry, which you might see is now using this extra utilities transfer node. We updated the server to 1.0.2 of the Direwolf 20 pack, and for whatever reason, Ender.io item conduits and Buildcraft transport pipes no longer connect to tesseracts. I had to switch to this method to get both on the quarry side and here in order to get items across. Very interesting. Didn't really want this out here, but you know, what can you do? So everything comes in here, and I've got a couple of those item filters down here that, oh well, actually I showed you that last time. Yeah, because I told you how that some of them repeat, and that is not the right stone. But everything gets processed now. There's a couple of things left over here. We've got some Thaumcraft things and some Project Reds. Don't really have a whole lot of those to like warrant getting better barrels yet, but if we find things, and actually no, I've got these sorted to only accept those. So when we have things left over here like the bees or whatnot, we'll begin to deal with them. I think I've addressed pretty much everything I'm collecting from the quarry though. Let's see here. I did have to upgrade this battery to a redstone. The energy conduits transport 640 per tick, but the batteries, the hardened ones, only do 400. So the issue I was having was, while powering the quarry like I am now, these machines, since I both put these double layer capacitor upgrades in them, would slowly lose their power until they wouldn't run anymore while this was running, because this takes a lot of power. So now that we've increased the battery tick throughput for the pipes, for the power conduits, these guys are staying nice and capped off. We're good. Very nice. I think that's it for so far. A couple of mobs have died in there. I got some gold armor sitting in there. Oh, I did add something out there because I came out here once and... I'll respond to him in a second. And there was a emerald just hanging out here. Why doesn't this load? There we go. There was a emerald just hanging out here, so I grabbed it. Now I've got a vacuum hopper down there going into a chest, and we'll see how many emeralds this guy just drops. But apparently naming him works because he's still here, and he disappeared long before now on the first one I gathered. So anyway, there you go. Alright folks, what's going on? So I've managed to get a pure common drone. Very nice. And now I am working on a Rocky Princess, a pristine queen now, with a, I believe it's a forest, one that has a fertility of ×2. That's also a half-breed. It's got some common in there. So hopefully we'll get some common in the queen. And if so, we'll start mixing her with that common and work on a pure common beeline, pristine, that won't die off. Excellent. Did a little playing around. Micronaut was over here earlier showing me something nifty with the travel anchors in Ender.io. I didn't even know you could right-click on these and have an interface. You can actually put a block in here to give it a nice little symbol, well, even a name. I didn't mean to type that, but from far away, if you look at this one, it'll be a dirt block. Well, actually, you can see it now. So, you know, I could have like a redstone over there so that I know that that one's power, and that one's maybe a metal ore. So that's pretty neat. Didn't even know about that. But he also reminded me, and you might have seen it, is the Staff of Traveling. Now, this allows you to zip around to the travel anchors from not on top of a travel anchor. So you could just be anywhere and just zap somewhere you can see. Pretty cool indeed, like that. The only issue is it takes power. And right now, I don't have anything that can actually charge it. Charge this over at Micronaut's place, but I don't have a capacitor, so I go ahead and build one of those. I'm sure an energetic infuser would probably work as well, but we'll see. It does kind of use up a lot of power, so I can't zip around here all day willy-nilly. I would have to recharge it on a regular basis, which isn't a problem. I just need something here at base that I can use to do that. I'm also thinking, need to double up on this engine supply again. I mean, we are holding a lot of energy with these redstone energy cells, but it takes so long to fill them now at 10 million RF that these just aren't cutting it. They're doing 160 RF per tick. Can double this maybe to 320, and that'll help. That'll help. That battery over there doesn't need yet to be upgraded to a redstone, but going to need to create or increase the per tick so that our quarry can run on a more regular basis. Right now I'm having to switch it off and on the moment I can't see any more red on that cell from over there. But everything gets processed and everything gets put away, and these things are still just here and everything's up there, and I don't have to do it all by manual hand now. It's very nice indeed. There's lots of room for expansion for other things that may come along the way. I may just have a chest actually that I drop stuff off in that'll just take everything and auto-sort it in places like, you know, all the little things that I work on here. Instead of having to figure out which chest they go in to put things away, you know, do sorting that way. Do need some more skulls for that though. I've only got a few. And in fact, to make this staff, I had to do a trade with Micronaut for an Enderman head. I made him a slice and splice. It's a good trade. That's what I needed. Oops, that's what I needed to make the cap of this thing anyway. So very good. I'm working on expanding this up one and maybe automating some glass production with here. I want to actually cover this entire ravine with glass. Get rid of these bridges. That way you can just walk over anywhere, and, you know, in case you don't want to use the travel anchors for whatnot. But and actually, if I happen to have a spider come over and attack me again, I won't back up into my ravine. Slowly but surely, I'm actually getting more roof space, more than I've ever had this early in a gameplay in any world. Can't really do this level over there with the trees. They grow pretty tall, but I can maybe go up the next one to cover up that. Maybe match it up over there. I think this height's good for over here, especially if we're going to keep it in a low profile with just doubling up this 4-banger setup we got right there. And then maybe work on something in the center and just be out of the rain. Oh my goodness, until we work on Thaumcraft, right? Because that's up there. Now we'll have to get a roof up there too. But anyway, folks, I think that's going to wrap it up this episode. I've made some good progress on some workings along. But next time I hope to have that doubled up. And maybe do some groundwork around here, making this look a little bit more than just grass everywhere. But anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.